Hi, it's Duncan Ash here at Qlik. Today, I'm going to show you how we've used Qlik Sense in a wealth management distribution environment, where a global wealth manager needs to break down some of the complexity in their operations in order to find out who's performing well, but also to try and find ways to improve the performance of all of their teams. So let's get started. One of the things that wealth managers look really carefully at is the relationship between the deposits received and the fees earned. It's a very good measure of how profitable a client relationship will be. In this case, we can see that there are a number of high-performing advisors in the top right-hand quadrant whose fees earned and deposits are above the average. The dark blue colour of the dots on the scatter chart is telling me that those people are performing ahead of plan, so I'm fairly relaxed about them. But I can also see there are some red dots on the chart. This shows advisors who are struggling on both measures. It's those people I probably need to focus on. So there's plenty of other information in the app that can help me. I can see the top performing teams, and I can see which regions are doing the best. It's also very simple to create a list of advisors who need the most development, so we can focus on helping them first. Now in this example, I'm going to pick out one of the top performers and see what we can do to help him. Now in a normal review, Tony Montana would be doing pretty well. He's coming close to the top of his peer group on most of his KPIs, and it's only on a number of contacts where he's not doing so well. Generally speaking, that might be overlooked in light of his good performance, but I want to drill down into the metrics on client contacts to find out what's going on. So this scatter plot is showing me all of Tony Montana's clients. The x-axis shows how long it's been since he's made what's referred to as a purposeful contact, i.e. a call which has resulted in a transaction. The y-axis is showing the size of the client deposits, and the bubble size shows the amount of fees earned from that client. It's now becoming apparent that Tony Montana may be one of the best advisors if we look at numbers alone, but actually he's missing a big opportunity here because his clients, with very large deposits, he hasn't transacted with in a long time. In some cases in 3 or 4 months, a sure sign that he might be about to lose that business. This is probably a good example of an advisor has too many good clients to service, and it indicates a need for a territory optimization program. So what can we do? Well, I used the app to create a list of clients who hadn't been called in more than 80 days, and then I ranked those by the size of deposits and created a top 10 list. It's not the long-term solution to the problem, but it's a good place to start, and it's an opportunity for Tony Montana to make some more money. So that was an example of using visualizations to tell a story, but let's see how easy it is to make one of your own. Okay, so in this example I've decided that I want a new chart to put into my story. So the first thing I need to do is to leave the story, and I need to go into my sheets. And I'm going to create a new sheet, and I'm going to imaginatively call it my new sheet. And I'm going to go in and edit that sheet. Okay, so I'm in edit mode now. What I'm presented with is a range of dimensions, measures, and pre-built visualizations, and what we call our master objects library. This is one of the great governance features within Qlik Sense. It means that someone in IT or a business analyst can prepare a range of options for me to use, and I don't have to worry about making mistakes or using the wrong calculation. I can look at any of these specific charts I want to use and put it in my app. These are charts that are available for me to choose. I can drop this very easily into my application, and if I wanted to I could continue like that. However, I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to start from scratch. So very simple, I'm just going to pick up a bar chart on the left hand side, I'm going to drop it onto the sheet, and it's asking me for two things. It's asking for a dimension and a measure. So for my dimension I'm going to choose my advisor client grouping, and for the measure we said we wanted to look at fees, so I'm going to look at all fees, and that's a pretty big chart. So let me see if I can make that look a bit nicer. I'll stack it horizontally. I'm going to take the automatic colouring off, and I'm going to colour it by measure. So there's my chart showing fees, and I want to add a couple of filters into this chart as well. Okay, so the first filter I'm going to use is asset class. So I want to separate whether I'm looking at bonds, cash or equities. The second filter I'm going to use is a calendar, so I can look at different time ranges. And that is probably enough to get us started, so let's have a look and see how that looks. Okay, that's pretty good. So let me make a selection here. Let's look at equities and let's look at a specific quarter, say Q3 2010. That's enough for me to make my analysis. So I'm going to hit on the camera button. I'm going to take a picture of that chart and now I'm ready to go. I can turn the camera off, go back into the stories, select my story, go back to the page we were on. I'm going to hit the camera button again. I'm going to take the chart that I just made and I'm going to drop that in my story. I'm going to resize it so that it fits. And I'm good to go. Press play. And there's my chart. Okay, so to summarise, let me just cover some of the important features we've just seen. Firstly, we saw associative search, which helps you find exactly what you're looking for by allowing you to type in words while it looks for associated matches across the entire application. That may span multiple datasets. Then we've seen powerful visualizations, which enable any user in the business to use either a pre-built visualization or to build their own from scratch. One of the things that makes that possible is the master items library. This is a key governance feature of Qlik Sense. It enables business users to pick measures such as total sales or net margin to be sure that they're using a common definition that's shared across a company. We've also seen collaborative storytelling, where we created a story which can be shared with other users in a group or within a much wider group, but only to those people who have the appropriate permission to see the information. We've also seen data from multiple data sources. You may not have realised it because the experience was seamless, but this app takes its data from several places. Qlik Sense makes the experience feel as though it were all from the same source. Open and standard APIs are baked into the Qlik Analytics platform. They make it possible for developers to easily modify or extend components of any application. That makes it easy for anyone to embed a Qlik Sense app or component into their website, blog or web mashup. Another important point is that Qlik Sense is part of an enterprise platform. It can be deployed to thousands of users, either on-premise, i.e. in the customer's data center, or in the cloud. In fact, this app that I'm showing you now is running on the Amazon cloud. And finally, a major feature of Qlik Sense is its responsive design. It means that no matter what device you are using, or where you happen to be, Qlik Sense will adapt to the user experience in a way that is best suited to that device. Now, you may not have noticed, but I've actually done this entire presentation on my iPad. I'm not even in the office, I could be anywhere. Proof indeed that Qlik Sense really does deliver visual analytics at the point of decision. Thanks for watching.